Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter, numerical analysis. In the previous two parts we have discussed about Newton's forward interpolation and backward interpolation formula. In this part we shall use Lagrange's interpolation formula. Actually Newton's forward interpolation formula and Newton's backward interpolation formula can be used if the arguments are equispaced. Now it may happen that the arguments may not be equispaced. Here we assume that the arguments x0, x1, x2, xn, these are not equispaced. In this case, we cannot use Newton's forward or backward interpolation formula. Here we shall use the interpolation by using Lagrange's interpolation formula. So as usual for interpolation, a function y equal to fx is not explicitly known, but the functional values of the function at n plus 1 arguments are given. These values are y0, y1, y2 up to yn. These are called entries. Now we shall construct a polynomial. Suppose we are denoting this polynomial by Lx, which will be called Lagrange's polynomial of degree at most n, such that it satisfies all these values. So we have to find a polynomial Lx such that the value of this polynomial at the point xi must be equal to the functional value at this point xi. So it should be equal to yi. Here I varies from 0, 1, 2 up to n. So the polynomial Lx must satisfy this n plus 1 conditions. Now there are two ways to write this polynomial. In the first way we write the polynomial directly, and in the second way we write the polynomial in some systematic way. First we shall write the polynomial directly. So this is the direct method to write the Lagrange polynomial. Here we have written the polynomial Lx. This is the polynomial of degree n. Now there is a certain rule to write this polynomial. If you look carefully, you shall find that there are actually n plus 1 number of terms. One term each for each of these entries. So there are n plus 1 number of entries, y0, y1, y2 up to yn, and each entry is multiplied by a function of degree n. So ultimately this is a polynomial of degree n. So how to remember this polynomial? Actually if we consider n plus 1 number of factors, x minus x0, x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn, then in the first term the factor x minus x0 is missing. So except this x minus x0 there are remaining n number of factors, x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn. So this is the numerator. Now in the denominator, if we replace x equal to x0 in the numerator, then that becomes the denominator. Now look, if we replace x equal to x0 in the numerator, then it becomes x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn. So remember that in the first term, except the factor x minus x0, we write all the remaining n factors, and if we replace x equal to x0 in the numerator, then it becomes the denominator, and finally it is multiplied by the first entry y0. Now consider second term. In this second term we shall consider all the n factors except the factor x minus x1. So look here, there are exactly n number of factors except the factor x minus x1. So x minus x1 is missing. So if we replace x equal to x1 in the numerator, then we shall get the denominator. So here if we replace x equal to x1, then it becomes x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2 up to x1 minus xn. So this is the denominator. Finally it is multiplied by the second entry y1. So continue in this process. The second last term will be x minus x0, x minus x1 up to x minus xn. In this term the factor x minus xn minus 1 is missing. So there are remaining n factors, and if we replace x equal to xn minus 1 in the numerator, then we get the denominator, and finally this is multiplied by the second last entry y n minus 1. And finally the last term. In the last term the factor x minus xn will be missing, so we shall write all the remaining n factors. These are x minus x0, x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1. Here x minus xn, this factor is missing, so if we replace x equal to xn in the numerator, we shall get the denominator, that is xn minus x0, xn minus x1 up to xn minus xn minus 1. Finally it is multiplied by the last entry yn. So you have to remember this formula. This is Lagrange interpolation polynomial. Now we shall show that this polynomial satisfies all the n plus 1 number of conditions. That means the value of this polynomial at the point xi must be equal to yi. Let us check. If we replace x equal to x0 in this polynomial, then lx0, let us check whether this is equal to y0 or not. So if we replace x equal to x0 here, then we find that this is x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn. So this is nothing but the denominator. So if we replace x equal to x0, then both the terms cancelled out and this is equal to 1. Finally this is multiplied by y0. So it is y0. If we put x equal to x0 in the second term, then it is x0 minus x0. So it is 0. So this will be 0. If we replace x equal to x0 here, it is also 0. And finally this is also 0. So if we replace x equal to x0 in the polynomial, then it becomes y0. So it satisfies the value with the function. Similarly, if we replace x equal to x1 here in the polynomial, then in the first term there is x minus x1. So if we replace x equal to x1, then this becomes 0. And for the second term, if we replace x equal to x1, then it is x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2 up to x1 minus xn, which is exactly equal to the denominator. So this is 1 multiplied by y1. So it is y1. And we find that this one is 0 because there is x minus x1, and also this one is 0. So in general, if we replace x equal to xi in the polynomial, then it becomes yi. So therefore this polynomial satisfies all the n plus 1 number of conditions. So this is the required Lagrange interpolating polynomial. We consider one example here. Find a polynomial which satisfies the following data, this one, and hence find f1. So first of all we have to find a polynomial which satisfies this data. Now remember that we cannot use Newton's Gregory formula here because the arguments are not equispaced, -1, 0, 2, 5. So these are not equispaced, so we cannot use Newton's Gregory formula. Therefore we have to use Lagrange's interpolation formula. So 4 arguments are given and corresponding 4 entries. So these arguments are x0, x1, x2, x3 and y0, y1, y2, y3. These 4 are entries. So first we write the Lagrange's interpolation formula for 4 arguments. Now this is the Lagrange polynomial formula for 4 arguments. Lx equal to this function multiplied by y0 plus this function multiplied by y1 plus this function multiplied by y2 plus this function multiplied by y3, where each function is a polynomial of degree 3 because 4 entries are given, and with this we can find a polynomial of degree 3 most. Now we have to simply replace all the values of the arguments and entries, and then we shall find the required polynomial. Now here we have replaced all the values of the arguments and the entries. Next we have to simplify this. I am skipping the details calculation. If we simplify this, we shall ultimately get that the polynomial is equal to x square minus 3x plus 5. So this is the required Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. So Lx equal to x square minus 3x plus 5. Now it is interesting to see that although we have assumed that the polynomial is of degree 3, But here ultimately we find that the polynomial is of degree 2 only. So this is our required interpolating polynomial, Lx equal to x square minus 3x plus 5. Finally, we have to find the value of the function at the point 1. So the value of the function 1, that will be equal to L of 1 is 1 minus 3 plus 5, which is equal to 3. So this is the value of the function at the point 1. So that completes the solution. So this is one way to calculate the Lagrange's polynomial. Now there is one more systematic way to find this polynomial. Now instead of using this formula, we can find the polynomial in some different way. Let us assume this function omega x. This is equal to x minus x0 multiplied by x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn. Actually there are n plus 1 number of factors. So omega x is a polynomial of degree n plus 1. Now suppose we are differentiating this function omega x with respect to x. So omega dash x, this is equal to, so this is a product of n plus 1 number of factors. So if we have to differentiate this function, then there will be exactly n plus 1 number of terms. First we assume that we are differentiating the first factor keeping all the remaining factors unchanged. So if we differentiate x minus x0 with respect to x, then we shall get 1, and we shall keep all the remaining factors unchanged. The first one will be x minus x1, x minus x2 up to x minus xn plus. Next we shall differentiate the second factor keeping all the remaining factors unchanged. So if we differentiate the second factor x minus x1 with respect to x, then this will be 1, and we shall keep all the remaining factors unchanged. So it will be x minus x0, x minus x2 up to x minus xn. And continuing in this process, ultimately we shall differentiate the last factor keeping all the previous factors unchanged. So if we differentiate this with respect to x, it will be 1, and we shall keep all the remaining n factors unchanged. So it will be x minus x0, x minus x1 up to x minus xn minus 1. So if we differentiate this omega x, then we shall get this function. Now suppose we are replacing x equal to x0 in this omega dash x. So if we replace x equal to x0 in this omega dash x, then except for the first term, all the remaining terms will vanish, because there is x minus x0, so this will be 0. Similarly, the next term contains one factor x minus x0, so this will be 0. Ultimately, the final term, this will be also equal to 0, because this is x minus x0. So if we replace x equal to x0 here, then it will be x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn, and all the remaining terms will vanish. If we replace x equal to x1 here, then except for the second term, all the remaining terms will vanish. So if we put x equal to x0 there, then this will be nothing but the denominator of the first term. So the denominator of the first term, this is nothing but omega dash x0, because if we put x equal to x0 here, then we shall get x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn, which is exactly there, x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 up to x0 minus xn. If we put x equal to x1 here, then it will be x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2 up to x1 minus xn, which is the denominator of the second term, x1 minus x0, x1 minus x2 up to x1 minus xn. Next, if we multiply the numerator by x minus x0, then the numerator will be equal to omega x. So if we multiply x minus x0 here, then this will be equal to omega x. So the first term can be written as omega x divided by x minus x0, this is the numerator, and by the denominator can be written as omega dash x0. So the first term can be written as omega x by x minus x0. This is the numerator, and the denominator can be written as omega dash x0 multiplied by this y0. Similarly, the second term can be written as omega x by x minus x1, because if we multiply the numerator by x minus x1, then it will become equal to omega x. So the numerator of the second term can be written as omega x by x minus x1, and similarly the denominator can be written as omega dash x1. Continuing in this process, for the final term, it is omega x by x minus xn. This is the numerator, and the denominator can be written as omega dash xn. So the Lagrange's interpolating polynomial can be written in this alternate way. So this Lagrange's polynomial can be written in terms of summation over I equal to 0 to n omega x multiplied by yi divided by x minus xi into omega dash xi. Now we can take omega x outside the summation because this is independent of I. So if we take omega x outside the summation, then the summation becomes I equal to 0 to n yi divided by x minus xi multiplied by omega dash xi. Sometimes this denominator is written as di. So it becomes summation over yi by di. So this is the alternate form of Lagrange's polynomial. Now we shall solve a problem. Next we shall solve this same problem by using this systematic way. So to find the Lagrange's polynomial, we have to consider a table here. Here we have constructed the table here. We just explain the table. In the first row, we have to write x minus x0, x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 and x0 minus x3. Now due to symmetry, it should be x0 minus x0, but instead of that we write x minus x0, and the remaining terms are x0 minus x1, x0 minus x2 and x0 minus x3. Now similarly, if we write the second line, then it would be x1 minus x0. Next one should be x1 minus x1. Instead of that we write x minus x1, and then x1 minus x2 and x1 minus x3. Now in the third row it should be x2 minus x0, x2 minus x1, x2 minus x2. Instead of that we write x minus x2 and x2 minus x3. And in the final row we write x3 minus x0, x3 minus x1, x3 minus x2 and finally x3 minus x3, but instead of that we write x minus x3. So these are the theoretical formula. Now we shall fill the table by using this data. Now what is the value of x minus x0? x0 is minus 1, so it should be x plus 1. Now what is the value of x0 minus x1? So this is x0, this is x1. So it will be x0 minus x1 is equal to minus 1. Next x0 minus x2, x0 minus x2 which is minus 3. And finally x0 minus x3. So this is x0 minus x3, it is minus 6. Now consider second row, x1 minus x0, x1 minus x0 which is 1, x minus x1, this is x1, so x minus x1 is x, x1 minus x2, x1 minus x2 is minus 2, and finally x1 minus x3, x1 minus x3 is minus 5. Third row, x2 minus x0, x2 minus x0 is 3, x2 minus x1, x2 minus x1 is 2, x minus x2, so it is x minus 2, and x2 minus x3, so x2 minus x3 is minus 3. And in the final row, x3 minus x0, x3 minus x0 is 6, x3 minus x1, x3 minus x1 is 5, x3 minus x2 is 3, and finally x minus x3, x3 is 5, so it is x minus 5. Now from here we can find omega x. Now omega x is x minus x0 multiplied by x minus x1, x minus x2 and x minus x3. Actually omega x is the product of this principal diagonal. So it is x plus 1 into x minus 2 into x minus 5. So this is omega x. Next, di. Di can be found by multiplying all the terms in each row. Now we just multiply all the terms in each row to find di. So first one is d0. d0 can be found by multiplying all these 4 terms. So it is 18 minus 18 into x plus 1. Next is d1. It is the product of these 4 terms, which is 10x. Next, d2. d2 can be found by 6 minus 3, 8 minus 18 into x minus 2. And finally this is d3. It is 15 and 6, 90 times x minus 5. So this is di. And in Lagrange's formula, we need to find yi by di. So first we find y0 by di. What is the value of y0? y0 is 9. So 9 by d0. It is minus 1 by 2 times x plus 1. Next, y1 by d1. What is the value of y1? y1 is 5. So it is 5 by 10x. So it is 1 by 2x. Next, y2 by d2. What is the value of y2? y2 is 3. So it is 3 by this. So it is minus 1 by 6 times x minus 2. And finally, y3 by d3. What is the value of y3? It is 15. So 15 by this. So it becomes 1 by 6 times x minus 5. Now by the formula we know that Lx equal to omega x into summation over I equal to 0 to 3. Actually it is I equal to 0 to n, but here the number of terms is 4. So I equal to 0 to 3 yi by di. We have already calculated omega x, and also we have found all the values of yi by di. So we need to replace the value of omega x, and also we need to replace the value of the sum of this yi by di. From the table we find that this is the value of omega x, and summation of yi by di can be found by adding these 4 terms. So we replace all these values in the formula. So if we replace this, we find this one. Now we just need to simplify these terms, and we find the final answer. I am just skipping the details calculation. If you simplify this, you shall find that the polynomial is equal to x square minus 3x plus 1, which we have already obtained in the previous case. So this is the required polynomial, x square minus 3x plus 5. And the value of the function at the point 1, that is equal to L1 is equal to 3. If we replace x equal to 1 here, we shall find it 3. So that completes the solution. So that completes this part. In this part, we have considered Lagrange's interpolating polynomial. In the next part, we shall consider Newton's divided difference. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.